It's Amy, chicken, and this is the F.O.E tutorial, Fold Over Elastic by Angry Chicken. All right. Let's take a look at Fold Over Elastic. Okay. One side is really shiny. The other side not so shiny. Now, this is what I get from the place I keep linking to, Suzanne's. And I've seen it in black and white in fabric stores. I've also seen it in velvet, actually, which is very cool. This, I think, is more for dance, lycra, athletic type of things. But I love it because it comes in a ton of colors. So a couple things. It doesn't fray at all because it's made of some poly, who knows what all. So you don't have to fold over the edges. And you can also use the other side if you don't want it to be all Xanadu, which, you know, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I usually use it on the matte side. Here's the shiny side. So it looks like this, and it stretches. So I'm going to talk about it in two different ways. The first way is the way I don't use it for as much, but you can. And that is just straight up sewing it without stitching. Now I used a red here. I don't even know if you can see that. But what this is this is a knit. This is modal, so it's extremely slinky. And you can make a blouse or anything you want out of this and just finish it with the F.O.E. And you want, if you're doing that, you just want to stretch it just a little bit while you sew it. Barely at all, because all you're doing is you're using it instead of a hem. And I use a zigzag. You can kind of see here. It's I'll wait for this to refocus. It's not refocusing. It's a pretty wide zigzag. It's actually a 3-stitch zigzag, but you can use it just a normal zigzag. And you really want to try and kind of get it a little bit more on the fabric here, you know. So you can use it without stretching it, and that's a great way to use it with knits. I wouldn't gather it with a knit unless you baste it first and gather a basting stitch, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so the way I've been using it lately is with a woven. This is this incredibly groovy iCat that I made a 5-minute skirt out of. And so I'm going to pretend that this is my waistband, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over the edge here with it and do a zigzag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this while I sew the zigzag. So let's move over to the sewing machine. Here we go. Oh, look at that mess. Here we are, right over here. All right. So, hopefully you can see a little bit about what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put this in here. Now I'm a bit compromised because I'm trying to work around this recorder here. And it's also kind of loud. My machine is awesome, but it's loud. Okay, so here's what I want to show you. I'm holding the fabric like this, but this I'm going to go, I'm like totally stretching. I'm sorry about the sound effects. I can't help it. All right. Stretching like some sort of maniac. And I'm holding it super tight with my finger here. And now I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to adjust and make the zigzag just a little bit on the long side. Okay, so now I'm kind of out of room, so I'm going to pull it and stretch it again. You see, no pins, none of that foolishness. That will just mess you up with this. So I'm just sort of stretching it. And here, let me just show you what I'm doing here. I'm kind of just, yeah, that's it. I'm just eyeballing it, man. Folding it over and eyeballing it. All right. Let me get this back together here. All right, so stretch it like some sort of crazy person. I mean, I'm seriously stretching it like it's about, I don't know what, to break. And then I'm not really pulling it from the back too much. Okay, now let's take a look and see. There we are. Let's see what happened here. We got a nice little gather. See that? So then what you do is you kind of flip it over, make sure it looks pretty good, and you kind of want to check and make sure that it got the fabric. Every once in a while it will bust out because you didn't quite get over it. That's it. And no science here. Some people refer to stretching elastic at 100%, which would be that, which is as far as it can go. 50%, which is kind of, you know, like that. And it doesn't stretch a ton. I mean, you can see it gathers it nicely, but if you're replacing it with elastic in like a waistband, you might, you know, try it on first. You might have to take the waist in a little bit and then do your F.O.E. You might have to, with a blouse, you know, those peasant blouses that are so popular with the gathering at the neck and the gathering at the arms, test it, you know, because you might find that this doesn't quite pull in enough. And if it doesn't, then just take the seams in elsewhere. That's what I do. All right, so finishing it, what I would do, let's pretend this is a circle. I'm usually a little bit lazy. So I just go goink, and I zigzag right around that end and call it good. If you want to be a little bit more fancy, you would leave a little bit of an overhang here. So pretend there's F.O.E. right here. And you'd stop short of going into a first full circle. Are you with me? And you would take this and then you would sew it together, right sides together, and sew across here like that. Pink. And then you'd flip it, and what you would be doing is you'd creating a little F.O.E. loop, and then you'd kind of stretch it and sew it on. I don't know if that was really confusing or not. Probably was. So if that was, if you're going like this, dude, what are you talking about? Just, you know what, just overlap it. That's what I say. Unless you're going to tuck in your shirt, and who the heck's going to do that? Although I have been seeing some tucked in shirts lately in print. I find it a little disturbing. So if you are going to tuck in your shirt, you might want to finish it the nicer way. Okay. No bad. Happy good. Happy. Fold over elastic. That's it. Bye.